Good morning. I'm Kim McKenzie Mabry, Acting Provost and Vice President for Academic and Student Services. And on behalf of Dr. Nana, who regrets that she could not be here this morning, welcome to Monroe Community College and our downtown campus Economic and Workforce Development Center. Advanced manufacturing businesses play a vital role in our region's economy and in our collective efforts to close economic and equity gaps in our local communities. Through industry-driven training and education at MCC, we have seen the lives of people like Robin and Tyler Bartlett transformed. After being a stay-at-home mom to two 5-year-old twins and a 2-year-old son, Robin wanted to return to the workforce and pursue a career unrelated to her undergraduate degree. She was seeking a career that offered family-sustaining wages, opportunities for advancement, a stable future, one that would be less vulnerable to layoffs. Her husband, Tyler, an MCC alumnus, encouraged her to explore MCC. Tyler experienced firsthand the power of an MCC education. Shortly after earning a machining certificate in 2019, he was hired by GS Plastics Optics in Rochester. Now, doors of opportunity have opened for Robin. She will earn her certificate in optics this June and already has been hired by IDEX Health and Science. MCC is the nation's only college awarding an associate degree in precision optics, and our graduates are highly sought after by employers worldwide. The demand for skilled technicians is high. The Finger Lakes region alone needs over 550 graduates each year to fill the need. Strategic partnerships with industry, private funders, and community organizations help ensure that our programs build bridges to stronger futures for our students and for our community. And in collaboration with government, we will help close the region's skills gap, ensure access and opportunity to high-demand manufacturing careers, and create more equitable opportunities for our students, and meet the demands of our local employers. We thank you, Senator Gillibrand. We thank you for your leadership and your commitment to transforming the national landscape and the Finger Lakes region. By strengthening the manufacturing workforce pipeline, we are especially grateful for your support in expanding pathways for family-sustaining careers, for our student parents, military veterans, and service members. MCC is proud to partner with the City of Rochester and Mayor Malik Evans' administration to create opportunities that positively impact the lives of individuals across Rochester through higher education. It is now my privilege to welcome the Honorable Mayor Malik Evans. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here at MCC in this great facility, and with my good friend Kim McKenzie Mabry, we go back. I also want to recognize New York State Assemblywoman Sarah Clark, Assemblywoman Jen Lunsford, Assemblymember Meeks, and Senator Salmon Brook, and my good friend former Lieutenant Governor Bob Duffy, now head of our Chamber of Commerce. And of course, I'll say a few words about our senator in a second. So good morning, and thank you all for being here today. It's always a pleasure to be back at MCC, as I said, and I have the honor of welcoming our great Senator Gillibrand today. And I'm especially happy to talk about her efforts to strengthen our manufacturing economy through the Made in America Manufacturing Communities Act of 2022. You know, back in 2014, Rochester was one of the first cities in the nation to receive federal designation as a manufacturing community consortium under President Obama's Investing in Manufacturing Community Partners pilot program. That designation helped us attract tens of millions of dollars in public and private investment to the region. And we use those funds to help our manufacturing sector reinvent itself in the form of smaller, diversified industries in precision manufacturing, particularly within the fields of optics, photonics, and imaging. We work with local partners like Rochester Works to help residents from some of the most challenged neighborhoods get the training they need to fill the good-paying jobs these dollars created. It was a great program, and we were really looking forward to watching it grow and help more of our residents find jobs. But it never got a chance to reach its full potential because it did not expand beyond a pilot after President Obama left office. If you remember, Obama left and we had another president. We skipped that part. Seinfeld, you say yada, yada, yada. So yada, yada, yada. Now, Senator Gillibrand is trying to change that by giving this program the force of law. Her legislation would give the program congressional oversight and permanent status across presidential administrations, which will increase the flow of federal job-creating dollars to regions like ours. And the timing of this law could not be better. With the designation of the U.S. Hub for AIM Photonics, we are making great progress to ensure these good-paying jobs reach all segments of our population. With programs like the Optical System Technology Degree Program, it's right here at MCC, everyone, and East High School's Precision Optics Program. And as this pandemic is showing us, the whole world needs to build up our manufacturing capacity. Some of our local manufacturing employees are growing as they're being called to fill in gaps in the supply chain. But others are struggling to find workers and buy materials for products they create. Senator Gillibrand's bill would bring much-needed stability to the manufacturing economy and supply chain and create the rising tide that lifts all boats. So, Senator Gillibrand, I want to thank you for your commitment to the manufacturing sector and to creating good-paying jobs for all the segments of our economy. The City of Rochester stands ready and willing to help you get this law enacted. And it is with immense pleasure that I bring the senator herself to the microphone to help explain this program even further and tell us about this important program. And we are always honored to have you in Rochester to talk about such an important topic as manufacturing. So please, let's welcome Senator Gillibrand to the program.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. It's always good to be here. I also want to recognize Kimberly McKenzie Mabry, our acting provost, and the community college, Monroe Community College, for hosting us. It is an honor to be here. Thank you to our mayor and his vision for job creation here in Monroe County. I also want to thank our former Lieutenant Governor, Bob Duffy, for all the work he has done on economic development and job creation. It's his sweet spot. Our state senator, Summer Brook, for being here, as well as our assembly members, Sarah Clark and Jen Lunsford and Demond Meeks. And Grant Malone, our president of the Rochester Building Construction Trades Council. Thank you, Grant. And then all the representatives from our job creators here, from Bausch & Lomb and Rochester Precision Optics, for joining us here today to talk about the future of our Rochester economy. Over the last weeks and months, we've heard so much about the disruption of our supply chain, as manufacturing and shipping operations around the world have slowed and products and supplies are being piled up at ports all around the globe. Even before COVID, the economy was shifting towards ordering more products at home. Then, when COVID hit, that trend accelerated, whether it was desks and computers for at-home learning or for working at home, whether it was home gym equipment, whether it was household supplies, all of that changed. Our purchasing patterns changed. We need to take action in order to keep pace with that growing demand and ensure that we're not beholden to the international supply chain and all the problems COVID has wrought. I believe the best way to do that and to build up our economy is to build those products right here in America. That's why I'm introducing this bill, the Made in America Manufacturing Community Act of 2022. This will create good family-supporting manufacturing jobs that stabilize our national supply chain and our local economies. The bill would call for the Secretary of Commerce to establish manufacturing community support programs, which would strengthen the manufacturing base of the United States by making long-term investments in manufacturing communities. These investments would come in the form of support for public-private partnerships between academic and workforce training programs, like the ones here at the Workforce Development Center, commercial industry, not-for-profit organizations, state and local governments. By allowing local groups to come together in consortiums to develop their own regional plans, they can design a program that fits the unique skills, the unique needs, the capabilities of those communities. They can also use these federal resources to expand programs that are already up and running and working. The Department of Commerce program would help these groups cut through the red tape, and it would offer both financial and technical support to them so that they have the resources and information they need to stand up these programs and rebuild our manufacturing domestically. We know that this approach works. This bill is modeled on a very successful Defense Manufacturing Community Support Program, which I established in the National Defense Authorization Act several years ago. Thanks to that program, we've made critical investments in developing defense manufacturing capabilities and communities which cannot be outsourced across the country and are now gaining the skills, the training, the facilities, and the research capabilities necessary to support and innovate our national security operations. It's also the successor to the Economic Development Administration's Investing in Manufacturing Communities Partnership Program, which, as the mayor said, was done under President Obama, which made critical investments to Rochester optics and photonics industries, helping to build on the industrial history of the city that started with companies like Bausch & Lomb, Kodak, and Xerox. I want to ensure that we build the future industries here too, with legacy companies like Bausch & Lomb, as well as newer companies like Rochester Precision Optics. We already make great products in America, and we need to support the companies and the people who make them. When we do that, we are ensuring that the next generation of technology and products are made here and made well. There is no better resource in America than the American worker. I know that we have the innovative spirit, the drive, and the dedication we need to build a future right here in New York. This bill already has strong bipartisan support, and I will keep fighting until we pass it, because supporting our local manufacturing and local jobs is one of my very top priorities. I'd now like to let our next speaker come up, which is Bob Duffy, the president of the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce and former lieutenant governor.
I want to join Mayor Evans and all our elected officials and our labor leaders. Welcome Senator Gillibrand, who's been here many, many times throughout our careers. I want to thank her. We fully support the Made in America Manufacturing Act. I think it's timely right now. It's something that right in this building, what MCC produces every year, as the provost said, is a tremendous workforce for manufacturing. We are a hub. We've been a hub for decades, if not more, here in Rochester. Jonathan Gruber, MIT professor, wrote a book, Jumpstarting America, which you may have heard of. They studied 102 regions around the country. Rochester rated #1 for innovation and technology hubs. So it just reinforces what the senator is doing here. And also, today's news with the war in the Ukraine, when supply chains get disrupted, you want to have your own destiny in your own hands, and having those products made here really, really makes a difference. And also provides great jobs. I think one thing we need to do, because I think Bausch & Lomb and L3 Harris and Precision Optics and all these companies realize this, we have to teach young kids today, manufacturing is no longer putting a screw in a camera here in Rochester. You're on an iPad, it's all computerized, highly technological, which I think kids gravitate toward today. It is a great future, a great career, and the products made here will make a huge difference. So I just want to thank the senator. She's done extraordinary work. This is great. It really also segues in with our Congressman Morelli's push too for this innovation hub, and Senator Schumer. I think our federal teammates here do a tremendous job. They really do. And we applaud this. Our members applaud it. And I think there's no better time right now than to make this happen. So thank you, Senator, very much. Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. Our next speaker is Sarah Clark, our assembly member.
Well, I'll be very quick because I know there's a lot of us up here. But, you know, we are standing at MCC, but it's also the hallowed ground of Kodak's worldwide headquarters for many years. We know the history of manufacturing here in Rochester and how that has helped us flourish as a community. And now we are building on that in a different way, in new ways. Technology has changed, companies have changed, but Rochester is uniquely posed to have all the components needed to really be a leader both in New York State and in the nation. Between Eastman Business Park and what we're doing there and how we're rebuilding that, to the training that goes on here, the worldwide training that goes on here at a community college in downtown Rochester, as well as all our industry partners, our chamber, our building trades, and our elected officials who are all putting the resources here ready to make sure that we become what we need to become. A manufacturing job has a multiplier effect of at least 4 times. So every time you create a manufacturing job, the jobs that are also created because of that happen. It really changes a region. So I'm so excited to have you here announcing this bill in what I think is the best place in the world to do it. But we in Rochester can really take advantage of it, become what we need to be a leader. And here in the state, all our partners here will do whatever we can to support it through our programs as well. So thank you.
Woman Jen Lunsford.
Thank you so much. I'm proud to be standing here with my partners in government to discuss this critical legislation. It's bills like this that forge a public-private partnership that help us leverage resources like we have here at MCC. We are standing above the new floor with all of their advanced manufacturing program equipment in it. I had the opportunity to tour that, and it's amazing. You should come back because it's so great. I want to thank Senator Gillibrand because this is the kind of bill we need to help lift up our community, to close that skill gap that we need to create a workforce for the jobs, not even of tomorrow, but of today. We need to bring, and everyone's so excited. The place busting at the seams. We need to bring good paying union jobs here to ensure that our community can lift itself up and that we can be a leader for not just the state, but the country. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Damon Meeks.
Thank you. Thank you again, Senator Gillibrand. We truly appreciate your work and your efforts. It's always great to recognize challenges and know that you have individuals who see challenges within your community and come up with solutions to those challenges. And this is yet another one, and thank you for the Omnibus Act as well. You know, as a youth growing up in the city of Rochester, you would often hear that all students are not going to college. And then you happen to be one of those who made it off to college. And then once you make it off to college and you look back and you say, wow, I got some bills to pay here, including these college and these student loans, right? So, manufacturing for a lot of our elders in the family worked at Kodak, Xerox, and so on. They didn't have that additional bill because they were afforded opportunity where they can go and make a living for themselves as well as generations to come. So this is another one of those opportunities, and we're just elated that we are working together at the state, federal, and local level of government. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Senator. Our next speakers are State Senators Samra Brook.
Thank you, Senator Gillibrand. We love when Senator Gillibrand comes to Rochester because she always comes with good news and resources. And we all love to brag on our community. And I just want to thank MCC for hosting us as well. And of course, to be shoulder to shoulder with all of our, as we've talked about, partners in government, partners in labor, and in business. We really are a united front when it comes to investing resources in the Rochester area. We know that small business specifically, can be the cornerstone of our economy. However, these businesses now compete, as the senator said, not only with their neighbors, but with businesses around the globe. So here in the city of Rochester, you've all heard of our history of manufacturing, but the truth is we are a place where new investment needs to be found. We have a very rich history in manufacturing, and we are poised, as the Assemblywoman Sarah Clark said, to continue that legacy and to grow it even stronger. I think a lot of us saw the struggles that occurred throughout COVID-19, and this is an example of our federal partners realizing that there is more to be done, that there is more to build in places like Rochester. So you have my full support, and we will do everything we can at the state level to make sure that we can be successful and make sure that we stabilize our communities with these good paying jobs and fewer student loans. Yeah. Thank you.
I like that. Do you want to come up, Grant, and say a few words? We have Grant Malone, our president of the Rochester Building and Construction Trades Council.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the senator. You realize just this bill just trickles down to not only manufacturing, but the whole economy here in Rochester. Good paying jobs, benefits. To Damon's comment, no student loan. That's huge today. So again, I want to thank her efforts and everybody else in this room efforts to really bring Rochester out of where we are and grow this economy. Thank you.
Thank you. We're happy to answer on topics from any experts up here. Any on topics? Nothing? Okay. Yeah. Off topics. Yes. What is your current reaction to the Russian invasion? This invasion by Russia is extremely destabilizing for the region as well as the world. What Russia has done is unprovoked and is an outrage to the national security norm that we have expected in Europe. It is a dangerous invasion of Ukraine. Not only have Ukrainians already suffered, lives have been lost, but it has the potential to escalate into a regional conflict. We stand ready to support the Ukrainian people. We have already sent them enormous amounts of support to protect their country. But we also stand ready to protect our allies, our NATO allies in the region. We've already pre-positioned troops into those allied countries, such as Poland. And we are doing everything we can to stop Russia from continuing this invasion. We have already placed on Russia severe sanctions in various parts of its economy. We have sanctioned the two largest banks that support the Russian government. One is known for supporting the Russian military. The other is known for supporting the Russian government. It's essentially Russia's slush fund. We have sanctioned those two banks, which combined is tens of billions of dollars. In addition, we have sanctioned the inner circle of Putin's government, so that the people advising him are also experiencing these crippling and debilitating sanctions. We have also called upon our allies to put forward as many sanctions as they can. For example, Germany has now decided that they will not pursue the gas pipeline with Russia, Nord Stream 2. They have also, along with our other NATO allies, put on economic sanctions. Several of our allies have begun to sanction the government individuals as part of the Russian legislature. Those who have voted for these incursions, they have been sanctioned as well. So these are broad-based economic sanctions, which is the first step in our response to this outrageous attack and this unprovoked invasion. And we are trying to, again, lead the world community to stand firmly against Russia and aligned with the Ukrainian people.
If I may ask a follow-up question, how could this invasion affect businesses here in Rochester?
One of our biggest challenges is that one of the likely responses by Russia is a cyber retaliation. And so cyber attacks can affect all U.S. businesses, all U.S. peoples, depending on what Russia does. But we are warning them against such retaliation, and we will meet that with even further sanctions. So the Governor Hochul, has already said publicly that she is working with businesses around the state to harden their response, to harden their infrastructure, particularly their cyber infrastructure, so that they are prepared for any attack that might come.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a large amount of Ukrainians here in Rochester.
Yes, you do.
What can you say to maybe comfort them about their loved ones that are still back in the country, about what we here in the United States are going to help?
Well, the United States stands with the United States stands with the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian families who've been harmed by this Russian invasion. We stand with them as a community, and we also stand here to protect against further incursions by putting forward the most aggressive, crippling sanctions we can. But for the Ukrainian families here in Rochester, I'm sure they have enormous fear and anxiety about the future. And so we are here to stand with them and to fight against this outrageous incursion and this unprecedented and unprovoked attack on the Ukrainian people. It is not an insignificant thing. These are very serious times, and people should be well aware that this will take time. This will not be quick. This will be, unfortunately, longer than we would expect. And so we have to stay prepared, vigilant, and understand that these are really serious violations of the international norms by Russia.
Senator, in terms of the impact on Americans, obviously energy prices is a big concern. Is Congress, mostly the Senate and the House, able to do something either by eliminating the gas tax or tapping the strategic reserves, or what do you think?
I think both of those things should be instituted in the weeks to come. I think we should absolutely use our strategic petroleum reserves, and I think we should eliminate the gas tax for a short period of time. I also think we have to call on our Middle Eastern allies to start pumping more oil. We do far enough for those allies that are oil-rich countries, and they should be now doing this for the world economy. I know they're in talks. They were in talks yesterday and today on this exact issue. They're waiting for more information, but I think the time is now to increase supply. And I will publicly call upon Saudi Arabia and our other Middle Eastern allies to do that now because it is the right thing to do. From what I understand, we did everything we could to get Russia to the table, to create a dialogue for peace. And I believe that President Biden used every type of incentive and effort with the world community, with our NATO allies, with our other allies in the region to push Russia to the peace table. Those did not work. And I have a view that Russia has intended this incursion and this violation of the world peace intentionally. I think it is a political move by Putin, who wants to strengthen his hand in Russia. I think Putin has been using disinformation for quite some time with his own people to convince the Russian people that this is an attack that was necessary because it was provoked by the United States. That is obviously false, but he has been intentionally creating this, I think, to stabilize his own leadership. So I think it is extremely weak of President Putin to be doing this to strengthen his political standing. That is not the intention of President Biden. That is not his stated intention. And our intention is to work as hard as we can through diplomacy, through economic sanctions, and through multilateralism to push Russia to do the right thing. It is deeply disturbing that we have had no movement on Abigail's case. Our office has been in touch with her family. We have supported her, and we have pushed very hard for DHS to respond to the concerns about the conditions in her detention facility and in how her case is being handled. We will continue to push for her. And we will continue to stand ready to help the family and the family's attorney at any time. It's deeply disturbing that a young woman who was raised in this community since she was 4 years old, been to our schools, and contributed, would be treated in such a fashion. So we have to really push back on where she is right now. The other thing that's specifically important in her case is she is a woman with learning disabilities, and we should not be treating members of our community with disabilities in such a harsh and ill-advised way. So I'm going to use my office to work hard to make sure she has a voice in this process and that she could be treated more fairly. Not without the consent of the family. So we've done everything we can do without absolutely representing her. We stand ready to represent her, but that is a decision for the family.